Shalom, welcome to Prophetic Lifestyle with Bernard Bolton. And today we're doing our marketplace and ministry series. We're actually going to do two videos. They're going to be short, but we're going to do. We've decided to kind of shift, so we'll be doing a ministry video, and then we'll do a marketplace video. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a real blessing to you. Okay. Now, today, I want to talk about the ministry that Jesus is building because there are many persons who are chasing after ministry, and they are going after ministry, but uh, they don't have a. They're not going after genuine ministry. Uh, they're not going after real ministry. And so when we talk about ministry, Jesus must always be the pattern for ministry. Okay, so let me give you right quick in Matthew chapter 9, and this is the actually this is the foundational scripture for the ministry that I lead, Renaissance Prophetic Network. And in Matthew 9:37, it says, Then he said to his disciples, The harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into the harvest. And then in chapter 10, verse 1, it says, And when he had called his 12 disciples to them, he gave them power over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of diseases. Okay, so Jesus ministry is people. The ministry that Jesus is building is about people. People is the center of his ministry. Jesus came into the earth to die for people. And so I recently met a minister, and this is no judgment, but the conversations I was having with her, I believe, reveals the a carnal mindset related to ministry, which is not aligned with the ministry that Jesus is building. And so she was talking about her ministry and how she had her board of directors and she had her vision, and she was speaking of her ministry in a very corporate sense. And so she shared with me how she had moved to Atlanta to be mentored by her bishop, who is the head of a 22,000 member church. And so I started to challenge her a little bit, and it was disturbing to her because I said, okay, so you moved here to be mentored by your bishop and to build a ministry the way he's building his ministry. And I asked her, I said, do you have access to your bishop? Do you meet with him? Do you? And she's like, no, I don't meet with him. I don't have to meet with him. And he doesn't have time for that. He pastors a church of 22,000. And so I told her, I said, well, if he's your mentor, so I say he's not really your mentor. He's a passive mentor. He's someone who you are being mentored by from a distance, but you don't have intimate mentorship. Now, in the Harvest, in the Renaissance Prophetic Network, I have a group of people that I actually mentor. They have access to me. I'm available to them, not as much as I would like, maybe not as much as they would like. They have my telephone number. They email me. I meet with them. Okay, even though we're all over the country, none of them live in the Atlanta area, but they're from different parts of the country. But they have access to me, and so I was trying to explain to her, not using myself. I never told her that I was a mentor, or I never told her that I was an apostle or anything. I don't. Yeah, I don't, because I don't position myself that way. When I'm in the marketplace, I like to stay with a marketplace identity. So here I'm a worker, on that job. Thankfully, I'm no longer there, but I was a worker and an employee. But she was getting quite flustered with me, and the problem is she's looking at this mega church that she's a part of, and she's looking at the corporate culture, and she's trying to build a ministry from that culture. And many of us, we imitate the culture rather than imitate Jesus. And so you can imitate the culture, you can imitate a well-known a bishop, apostle, prophet, and attempt to build your ministry on the way they're building ministry. But if it's not people centered, see, we need to stay people centered. Jesus was always about the people. The harvest that Jesus is speaking of in Matthew 9 is people, and Jesus is still gathering a harvest. And so, what we do in Renaissance Prophetic Network, I'm mentoring this group of this group of people. I call all of them ministers because we're all ministers now. We're not all vocational ministers. I do have one vocational minister in the group who is a pastor, and she leads her own ministry, but she is a part of the network. But most of them are ministers within the network. Okay, and some of them are beginning to spread out, and I'm anticipating all of them are going to begin to spread out as they discover their field. But it's got to be Jesus. It's got to be the same ministry that Jesus is building. Jesus is building people. The harvest that Jesus is gathering is people. And if you don't have a heart for people, and you have a heart for structures and corporations and boards, and you're trying to put together a nonprofit, or you're trying to get your 401c3, all of that is necessary, but that is secondary. The what is primary, what is the mandate for ministry, must always be people. And here's the thing: when I started in ministry at the age of 17, the Lord called me because he loved me. He didn't call me because I love people. I had to really grow into loving people. I was very shy. I was very introverted. The first time I preached, I never looked at the people. I just kept my eye down on the pulpit on my Bible. I was very, and I wasn't. And my grandmother used to fuss at me. She said, "You gotta shake people's hands, and you gotta." But it didn't come natural to me because I was, so introverted. But that's really when I became more friendly. I became more people. But even in being introverted, my desire was always to do the will of God and to preach the best message for the people, to give the people the message that God was giving to me. So and so I believe, because that was my heart, God was able to grow me. And so, but if your ministry is not about people, if you're not, and listen, you are a minister, whether you're a vocational minister or a minister in your community in your faith community, when you worship the Lord, that is ministry. The ministry of reconciliation is given to all of us. And so you are a minister. You are one who has a gifting within you to serve, but it must always be about people. Don't use your gifts, don't use your callings, don't be ambitious about doing about just connecting and using people. It is heartbreaking. But I've been seeing this for I've been in ministry now for 38 years. It'll be 38 years. um, and there's always been ministers who use people, but that is not the ministry that Jesus is building. I want to help you. If you're interested in learning more about Renaissance Prophetic Network, you can connect with us. I still have a few slots open for mentorship. I'm looking for genuine ministers who really who've come out of tradition, come out of religion, and you're ready for a renaissance. Okay, so God bless you. Shalom.